What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Section 214 podcast. I'm Hammer, joined with our co-host Ascent. Um, Today's a special day. It is my 19th birthday, and
Yeah, happy
no better
birthday.
way, no better way to spend my 19th birthday than at BC Place watching the Lions beat the Alouettes 36 to 18. I think we talked about this in previous episodes. I have been cursed in previous years watching teams
Yes.
play live. Last year, I saw the Blue Jays lose on my birthday, but this year the drought is over. It's been a great day, and I think one of the biggest positives of me turning legally an adult now is we can go to first and now. So we're going to do that later
Yeah,
next month.
yeah, welcome to our world now. Yeah, so before the next First and Now podcast, thankfully we'll be in Surrey again at the Guildford Boston Pizza, which I can
Mhm.
make. So yeah,
Yeah, that's going to be.
that's something to look forward to for next month.
I'm
And
looking forward to that. You got free tickets in the last one, met a couple of Lions players, and I'd be really excited to do that as well. Get more involved with the community. So there's a whole world opening up to me now. It's been a really
Absolutely.
good day. Um,
Yeah, it's been a fantastic day for you. I mean, and not only that, I think we should petition the league to schedule all Alouettes games versus BC on our birthdays because now we're 2-0, right?
yeah,
So they beat Montreal today on your birthday, and then last year they did the same thing in Montreal on my birthday.
yeah.
So
I can't
yeah,
remember when JS' birthday is exactly, but I know it's October. So in theory, that could happen again next year. Go 3-0 on our
perhaps, but
birthdays.
we'll
So
yeah. Oh yeah, that's also gonna be a great segue into what I want to talk about with you and the audience. Well, I mean, we kind of knew this was coming for next year, but we'll now confirm that next year, in like the first half of next season, there's going to be about two, or I think it was about two home games that's going to be relocated elsewhere, not just for the Lions, but also the Argos,
yeah,
because both BC Place and BMO Field are hosting the World Cup. And
yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that. I kind of, there's going to be more details that's going to be coming out a little later on, and we'll talk about that when they come up. But I do, and you said before the recording that you have faith in Amar Doman that he's going to find a different venue for
Yeah, I think a
Lions
business
home
guy like
games.
him will see
Mhm.
this as an opportunity. Like we've played games in Victoria, Langford. I feel like they'd
Empire
want to do
Field.
something in Empire Field. Yeah, I feel like they might want to do something in Kelowna. But truly, the BC Lions are getting fan support all over the province. I think we'd have
Even
no problem
Kamloops as
selling
well,
tickets.
right?
Yep, they do
Kamloops can be a
training
good
camp
one
there.
too. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I think he's gonna have no problem with that. It's a good thing we have a practice facility in Surrey. Um,
Although I do remember watching a news story about well, this practice facility is like much to be desired, right? It's just
mhm.
kind of aging. It's been around for longer than I've been on
I
this
always
earth, and
I
since
like to say
the
that to dig
90s.
to dig on the Canucks who don't have a practice facility.
Oh,
But
yeah, like we don't have a 30+ year practice facility to worry about. What
yeah.
gives? uh, yeah, it's kind of funny how things kind of work. Kind of, do you want an aging practice facility or no? No, no. I think I'll take the aging one.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean everything right now about the 2026 where we're going to play is pretty much pure speculation, but it's pretty fun to speculate. I think we have a lot of potential and a lot of season ticket holders could travel for the games. It's only two games, like they did for Victoria. So I don't know. I'd be excited. I think it's a great opportunity to just spread football around the province. I know he's been touring with different Lions themed events, different cities. So, I'm
yeah,
looking forward to it.
I mean, if they go to Kamloops, I wouldn't mind that because I've never been there myself. So
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
If any team could
So
pull it off, it's us.
yeah, that's why we're called the BC Lions and not the Vancouver Lions. Uh, yeah, although playing Port Moody, I mean, if Port Moody like somehow got to stay, be just like, oh, 5 minutes down the road, I can see the Lions play. Right?
Wouldn't that be cool?
Uh, it's gonna probably impossible because of the dynamics, but yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I guess Well, I guess we'll just get into our gut check of this game. I mean, man, what a night and day experience from how the last two games have been. The last two games have just been incredibly stressful. Well, one they collapsed Hamilton, and then the other one it was a back and forth tilt that ended up winning in overtime on a field goal. This one was admittedly, it was well, yes, it was stressful in the first half, but then the second half went along, and then it was like not as stressful. Kind of reminded me of the first game of the season against Edmonton, where it was a similar flavor, where there was kind
Mhm.
of a struggle in the first half, and then BC just explodes for points after that, right? So yeah, I was in. Uh, Now there are things about this game that, well, we hate about it. I mean, you were at the game
Yeah.
in person again, like I said before, and again I was watching it at home, and thankfully I didn't need to ask you to see like okay, is Jason Moss going to challenge anything? I didn't need to ask you for that at all, so that
Yeah.
was nice. All the challenges, well, the one challenge you did was just like in the middle of the play, so yeah,
My
but
dad is a major Jason Moss hater, but always refer to the fact that he would throw challenges at every PI call
he
in the
like
past.
him yeah, one of the PI calls it, yeah, he immediately just threw that flag, just no
Yeah.
hesitation. It was
And I
just
didn't think that was
wow.
PI. We both didn't think that was PI, and it turned out to be. Um,
No, I didn't think it was PI, but I looked at the replayers and I went, okay, yeah, he kind of tugged
hmm,
his arm slightly before the ball came in. Okay, I see what by the letter of the law that's PI, but
maybe the
yeah,
stadium angle was a bit different because I didn't see that part. Um,
yeah, the TSN angles had the better ones.
I did want to say, just being in the stadium, I had one word on my mind after winning, and that was finally three straight home losses. That has come to an end.
Yes,
It was a pretty comfortable win. Um, as we mentioned, Montreal started with their third string quarterback, Caleb Evans, then went on to their fourth stringer.
fourth string
Um,
quarterback, and I told you I've seen so many CFL games and so many BC Lions games. I have never seen a fourth string quarterback playing a game,
yeah,
and I've never seen four, and with a bit of a four female, and I've never seen a quadruple coverage that ended up not. And it ended up not being an interception, but we'll get that in the
that
recap too. But
that was
yeah, it
ridiculous.
was this game was equal
Yeah,
parts frustrating with penalties and equal parts liberating with the fact that BC has like finally broken this pattern of win one, lose two that they've had for the past month, 2 months, right? And it's just nice to have a winning streak finally, right?
we're back to
Unfortunately,
five and
everybody,
five.
yeah, unfortunately, everybody else in the West decided to win too, so that's mean of them, right?
Literally. Yeah. East teams lost every game this week. It's been such a weird season in the
Mhm.
standings. And we initially thought that the East was coming off to a good start, but now us being fourth in the West, and it feels like it's been forever we've been fourth in the
Fourth in
West.
the
We'd
West.
be
Yeah,
we'd be second in the East right now. Um, we are
yeah, it's
casually we're gaining ground. We still have the games against the Stamps to play. If only Winnipeg lost a couple days ago to Ottawa.
Yeah, we'll get into that like in when we also review the other games. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
the Winnipeg game. That was probably the most Chiefs way to win I've ever seen in the CFL. But yeah, yeah, but yeah, I guess one more thing about about the gut check for this game before we get into the statistics is that yeah, I mentioned it before, but well, I guess there's two big things about this when that are equal. I said equal parts frustrating and liberating. The frustrating part was how many penalties
Hmm.
was on the line, and I counted and in my notes, and I double checked in the stats, and we had 13. I think it was, oh no, it was 12. Uh,
We have to explain the number of yards in
Yeah, 12,
football fields.
12 for 137. So yeah, it was that was just another
And
game where BC just decides to, penalize themselves so much, but they end up winning anyways, right? It's
yeah,
just this cannot continue against a better team. Like
yeah.
they were
And
lucky.
Not just that, but another game against Montreal because we had more penalty yards in our last game against Montreal, which nearly caused us to lose the game. Obviously, it was a bigger margin in the score. I do want to
Yeah,
mention being in the stadium, there was one, a ton of penalties, two, a ton of injuries. Obviously, that happens, but the game was such a drag towards the end. Like it just, the game was so
yeah.
slow.
And I also want to say for the second thing I want to say about the game was there was also the fact that Montreal could not score in the red zone. I mean, they denied them 4 times. For as frustrating as the defense was on terms of getting a lot of penalties, they were equally clutch when it came to stopping them in the red zone. Because
Yeah,
multiple times, I mean, it was important in the first half for sure when the game was tight and it was separated by field goals, right? There were field goals all over the place, and it was really tense, kind of first half, right? And that was important
yeah,
to keep Montreal just off the touchdowns, right?
yeah. Red zone
So yeah,
defense
that
is really
was
good. And I think
yeah,
they got better as the game progressed. So,
yeah. They only allowed the one touchdown in the end in the fourth quarter. That was kind of like a garbage time one. So yeah, it was like a
yeah.
36-18, but really it should have been 36-9.
Yeah. I do want to
Uh,
say one last thing for myself is that throughout the first half, the score was separated by about one possession. So we were up, I think we were up 16-9 at halftime, and it was
yeah,
pretty close throughout the first half. But I was fairly confident in us winning the game,
I was confident too.
because of how Rourke was playing, but also the fact we were playing against the fourth stringer. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't want to get
Also,
too secure because of the last game against Hamilton and all these chokes I've seen us at home the last
um,
couple of
I,
years.
yeah, I also want to say not only was the fourth stringer in, but also like half of the offense was decimated, right? Like Phil
Right.
Pot wasn't in this game. He was the the best receiver. He was out, and of course there was injuries the rest of the time too. So yeah, just Montreal just severely depleted in their roster count now. It's just
Yeah.
so
Story of the league
yeah,
this year.
yeah, we just like took advantage of the significant weaknesses on both sides of the ball, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, normally, like if we had beaten Montreal, like if this was a win against Montreal 2 years ago, we would have been stoked, right? Because they were hot to their
Yeah.
Grey Cup win. But this is, you know, I call this just a one course meal. Just bringing back the 4 course meal analogy. This was more like this was just beating a wounded horse,
Yes.
right?
I like that analogy.
That too, yeah. It's just I didn't feel particularly good about this one, but it was still important for us to keep pace with the West. But
Yeah.
yeah, anyways, let's get over to the statistics. And after we read the statistics, I'm gonna pause for a second just to refresh the time limit.
Yeah.
Uh, so
You'll
yeah,
notice
well,
my camera's a little different. We had some issues with my laptop, so we're on my
yeah,
phone now.
but yeah, yeah, you can't have everything good happen to you today.
No.
So no. So yeah, and then if you notice in the stats, like you've got the Lions stats, so the
Mhm.
winners.
The
So
winners. Yeah. At
yeah,
QB, Nathan Rourke, our star boy, Canadian, 26 for 34 for 382
another
yards.
300 plus yard game. That's just
Yeah.
6 in 8 games, right?
Wow. Yeah, it feels like he's been rolling lately. Four touchdowns, one interception,
Touchdowns.
averaging 11 per throw, longest being 49 yards, and two carries for 31 yards, longest run 27. That one interception was really dumb, but other than that, he was rolling the entire game.
I
Um,
still consider it an A+ game from him. I just all
yeah,
things considered. Uh,
honestly, like I was very confident when he had the ball, and he was just slinging left, right, and
just
center. I feel
slinging.
like we've gotten him back.
Yeah, and in the TSN, like it was mentioned that he kind of idolized his game after Brett Favre, and I go, "Oh yeah, I grew up watching Brett Favre as a Packers fan, and don't want to
Oh.
emulate him completely because he, as much as he was great for on touchdowns, he also threw a lot of interceptions. Like okay, like throw more touchdowns, please. Just
That's some good awareness.
yeah, and yeah, he scored 4. So yeah, that incredible, another incredible game from him. Right,
Yeah.
just didn't need overtime to do it this time too. So
Yeah. Another high
close, close,
scoring offensive game.
close to 400 too. But again, it was like near the end of the game. It was he was like close to 400, but yeah, just
Yeah,
wanted
and
to play
they
it
kept
safe.
him in the whole game. I was surprised they didn't give Masoli any snaps to save
Yeah,
Rourke. Yeah,
yeah, I have no
real
idea why
questionable.
why you would do that, but
Yeah.
anyways,
Um, Running back or James Butler, 16 carries for 81 yards, averaging five, with his longest run being 26 yards, and two catches on four targets for 12 yards. I said during the game, I really love his versatility because we can use him as a target, but also he's just really good as a running back. I think he had the majority of those rushing yards in the first half, which seems to be a trend. He rushes a lot in the first half. He's been very good as usual.
yep. Yeah,
Receivers,
the receivers have been incredible today, right? And
boy,
one in particular,
yeah.
both of us, well, JS isn't here. He's in Surrey right now. He was supposed to vacation in Coldest Lake, but he canceled that. So, but he's still,
Yeah, the weather.
but yeah, he's I'm sure if he was reading these stats, he would be just as amazed as we are, right? But yeah, I'm sure like all of us would have been voting for Hatcher as the MVP because
Yo, I was in the stadium and you scan the QR code on the Jumbotron, you vote for your player of the game. I voted for Hatcher. Why? 11 catches on 11 targets for
uh,
156 yards, two TDs, 14 average, longest catch being 40 yards. Perfect. Nothing else to say. He played such a great game today. And he was open in a lot of these targets. He was really good at finding space. One of the biggest things is his speed. He's back. Such a threat. And then
mhm.
Justin McInnis, 5 for 6 for 66 yards with a touchdown, averaging 13 and his longest catch being 23 yards. Another great game. Stanley Berryhill the third, three catches on five targets for 51 yards, one touchdown, averaging 17, his longest catch being 29 yards. Aiden Eberhardt, the meme man,
Here we go
Section
again.
214 favorite, two catches
Two,
on four targets for 63 yards, averaging 24. That can't be correct. With his longest catch being 49 yards. That would be an
well, yeah,
average of,
that's because one of his catches was again a deep bomb. And he's just he's a
my
deep
God.
threat guy. And I talked to you before the recording, like a TSN basically threw up a stat where like he went 11 for 13 and he already had 500 plus yards on deep throws alone,
Oh my
right?
God. So they're
Like he
finally
is,
giving our boys some recognition.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he, well, I would love to see him get as many targets as Hatcher and McInnes are getting because,
Mhm.
but I think maybe his role is just the clutch receiver, right? The deep threat, right? But like Bonham was for us.
Yeah.
Uh,
And honestly, our receiving core is so deep that I think he's really well suited in that role. I shared an article a couple days ago from the province where Aberhart was interviewed, and he's had a long road to make it to the CFL, but in his 3 seasons here, he says he's felt the most comfortable this season. And I mean, you can tell, I mean, he's really emerged himself. I think he knows his role. He's a good guy, and we're so
I I
happy that he's
I
popping
think
off.
I think he's got a Grey Cup winning touchdown in him. uh,
You know what? If anyone, it's
Knock
going to
on,
be him.
yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, again, you mentioned that. I mean, our receiver core is so deep. Like the other two,
yeah,
like if you see Katoy, right?
yep. One for two for 21 yards, but he normally gets a lot more targets than this. There are some games this year he's completely taken over. So, and Pickett 2 for 2 for 13
The
yards.
fallback. I like
Fullback
fallback
Pickett,
stats.
yeah,
So
funny. On defense, as I said earlier, I think they got a lot better as the game went on.
yeah, the
On
pressure was much better on the quarterback, and it finally resulted in multiple sacks, not just one. Right?
Yeah, multiple sacks. Yeah, where's that been all year? I feel like we haven't really sacked very much at all. So Tahima with two sacks, Tavai with one, um, Awe with the interception, and no fumbles, but one turnover on downs in garbage time. Awe and Peters had seven tackles. Peters was actually voted the player of the game by the fans. I'm not sure how many voted. Peters was good, but I think Hatcher was player of the game. Rest of the team had less than four tackles.
Well, if it
Um,
were, well, defensive player of the game would have gone our way, but I mean, our way, he did have a good game, but also really been really been iffy in terms of unnecessary roughness penalties. Right?
yeah.
We'll get to that.
I
Uh,
do want to mention one funny thing. Remember the Hamilton game 2 games ago where we, we collapsed and I was there with my dad. He called that game a no-hitter because Bo Levi took no hits from our defense and there's none of their receivers were covered. That was the brutal game. So we almost compare the defense to that game just to see how much we've improved. And I think
Yeah.
Benavides has made some changes since then. Yeah.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, even with the changes, I mean, yeah, I guess the defense has played, better in terms of sacks and location of tackling. I mean, there were a couple of spots where the tackling was pretty bad, but
Hmm.
yeah, I think most of our gripes will just be about the penalties. We'll get to that in a bit
Oh,
too.
yes, we
So,
will.
yeah,
Yeah. I was completely ignoring that big thing. Anyway, White, 3 for 3 on field goals, 3 for 4 on
good.
extra points.
Keep
One
that
was
streak
blocked.
going. Yeah.
One was blocked and then turned into a no yards penalty, which we can rave about in the game recap. And then Meyer, the punter, 3 punts, averaging 46 yards.
Yeah, he only
Um,
had 3 punts, and the first punt was in the third quarter. BC did not punt all the first half, and they were struggling on offense somehow.
wow.
Right, it was field goals, a touchdown, and also turnovers. So
Really odd game, all things considered.
yeah.
And then Sevens himself, Seven McGee, 6 return catches
Oh
on special
man.
teams, 4 punt returns for 29, 29, 2 kickoff returns for 17 yards.
17 yards. How do you get less than 20 yards on kickoff returns?
I
Oh,
almost make this the first time I read these stats just for the comedic effect because Jesus, grand total of 47 yards, averaging 8.5 for kickoffs. His longest kickoff run was
one was
17.
17, and
So
then
he got zero on another one.
yeah, 17. And there was much rejoicing, and the Monty Python joke goes.
Oh my God. 7 for punt returns, longest being 15.
Yeah,
It's
he averaged 7 yards on punt return, so there's another seven. Right? It's just like,
yes.
man. I was hoping I would see a special teams touchdown when you were there, but it's gonna have to be my birthday game for the next time I want to see one in person. But
Yeah.
it's not until September 12th.
Praying, fingers crossed. Hopefully before the heat death of the universe, we get one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna get to the Montreal stats as well. Uh, yeah, so the starting quarterback was Caleb Evans, the third stringer. He only went like 3 for 4 for 32 yards. He averaged 8 yards, and his longest throw was 14. And yeah, he was only there for three, two and a third drives before he got injured and got replaced by the fourth stringer, James Morgan, who was actually a fourth round pick of the New York Jets in 2020.
Oh.
So there could have been a world where he could have been the starting quarterback on the team, right? Just how bad the quarterbacking was for the Jets. But
Hmm.
nope, said he's up here, he's slinging it. He actually did pretty all right for coming in, green as grass. He had 20, went for 20 for 33 for 211 yards, one touchdown, one interception, six average per throw, and 40 was his longest. So, I give him kudos for, I mean, he didn't have like the best game ever, but did enough to at least with the field goals that Montreal had in the first half, he kept him in it with the play at some points, but it
Yeah.
just wasn't enough. Right, it was just truly behind the eight ball level of playing.
Yeah, honestly, I mean,
Um,
we all hope Evans is all right, but Morgan played far better than him. I know he had more game time, but Evans just looked very shaky out there and got sacked three
yeah,
times, and then obviously got injured on the third one. So,
yeah. So let's just get to the running back stats. So Travis Tice, I was a little fearful of him because he does have good games for them, but he only had the 5 carries for 26 yards, averaged 5 per carry, and also tacked on 3 catches and 4 targets for 41 yards, and his longest was 20. So yeah, shut him down pretty well, all things
mhm.
considered. And also Stevie Scott, the third, got another 4 carries for 23 yards, average 6 per carry as long as we're late. And they also, I do like putting this in, one catch for -2 yards. Just anytime I see negative yards on the stat, I'm going, okay, I'm going to put that
It's
in
so
just for
good. Yeah, I
laughs.
have to.
Right? It's fun. Only for the other team, though, not for us. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and then receivers, yeah, compared to our receivers, just well, Snead had the best game. He went 5 for 8 for 111 yards, 1 touchdown, 22 average, and as long as it was 40. Uh, yeah, he had a great game, but and everybody else just kind of didn't do as much because yeah, Rambo went 5 for 8 for 46 yards, 0 touchdowns, 9 for average, and as long as it was 13.
If JS was
I
here, he'd rave about Rambo's name. He likes that name.
I would have done the same too. I love that name right there.
Yeah.
And speaker of one of the better receivers, he actually got nothing. Uh,
O for O.
oh for which again, just trying to make up for the loss of Philpott, which I'm surprised by. But um,
Yeah.
actually, no. Speaker went 1 for 3 for 1 yard, but yeah, it was close to zero. I realized I put him in twice, so
No.
yeah, Deleo had 2 catches on 3 targets for 19 yards, 9.5 average, and longer to 10. Shibasu went 5 for 6 for 19 yards and longer for 7. And then Hollins makes his return to BC and disappoints because they only got like 1 catch for 8 yards on 4 targets. So kind of a very, thankfully, a very, very, very underachieving game from him, right?
Still missed the guy.
Because I was worried that he would go off
Yeah.
against us, right? Because the revenge narrative, like Butler did that to Hamilton in the last game, and then Hollins could have done that to us. But yeah, thankfully he just didn't make an impact at all for Montreal. But
No revenge
one
game this time.
so yeah, that thankfully that went pretty good. So yeah, and then but for defense, only the 1 sack for Montreal for Beverett. Beverett also got an interception, 1 fumble and 0 turnover on downs. So Beverett had like the major plays for defense, but otherwise, like Montreal's much vaunted defense from Noel Thorpe was pretty much wrecked by us in the second half, especially
But yeah.
like and yeah, Sankey had 10 tackles, Kenton
And
Oku and Sutton at 5, and the rest of the team had less than 4. Yeah.
yeah.
And special teams, Maltos Diaz, sorry, went 4 for 5 on field goals and no extra points because when they got the touchdown, they had to get the 2 point convert. It was kind of in garbage time too. So yeah, but that missed field goal, we'll get to that. That was good. That was good. And if you know about the promotions, free
I felt
food.
good about that.
Uh,
Free pizza for
uh,
me.
yeah, and then yeah, so continue with the good stuff for you on your birthday.
Yep.
And yeah, Zima had 6 punts, averaging 49 yards, and he even had 2 punts inside the 10. So that's pretty good stats for him. And he would like to have less punts, obviously, but yeah, multiple times just they kept pinning us in for 20 and 30 because of our bad special teams. And speaking of special teams returners, yeah, Tice also did kick return duty. He had 4 return catches, 2 punt returns and 2 kickoff returns, and then the 2 punt returns at 12 yards and 2 kickoffs for 43. So that totals 55 yards. And yeah, the longest punt return was 7, and the kickoff return was 22. Snead had 1 for 25, and Scott the third had 1 for 24. So all 3 of those returners had better stats than McGee,
Wow.
right?
That is just
So
no words.
yeah, and then penalties. Yeah, we already
God.
went over that. Montreal at 6 for 94, 12 for 137 for BC, and then time of possession, a whole 5 minutes. BC went 32-40, and Montreal had 27 out of 20.
Relatively
So
even. Just with penalties, I just feel like we were shooting ourselves in the foot so much, and Montreal wasn't able to capitalize. But man, it could have gone a lot worse. As I say that, we won by 18, but still, they did have a lot of missed opportunities.
yeah, the score really could have been a lot worse in that first half if it wasn't for BC just not scoring on the opportunity they were getting, right. But
Yeah,
uh,
I feel
so
like we still would
yeah,
have won anyway. But yeah,
yeah, we're just gonna stop right here, and we're gonna reset our clock so we can talk about the recap.
Yep.
Hey, welcome back. This is part two of our recording session. So we're going to get into the game recap of this game. And yeah, this is, I'm glad that the second half is a lot less than the first half because so we can get through it, you know, as quick as possible. But there's still quite a bit to talk about in this game, especially in this first half because yeah, I'll start out with the first quarter. So I put the Lions are the favorite in this matchup for the first time, and they'll be even more favorites after the Evans injury. So it's pretty much the first time they were favored in this matchup since the Elks game, all the way back like last month. Right, it feels like a long time ago. um, Even though both teams have opposite records, so Montreal was 5-4 going into the game, and we're 4-5, so now we're both equal. It had been 10 years since Montreal's won in BC Place, and they've only won twice in 2000, so that continues. Um,
So a home win was against Montreal at the last game of last season.
yep,
It's been that long.
been
Obviously, I wasn't
that
here for the
long.
Elks game, but yeah.
So yeah, again, just we're behind the eight ball in this game, and again even more so as McGee receives the opening kickoff to the BC 25 and work for the quick strike to Hatcher for 9, drop convert on short yardage, and then there was a too many men penalty for that on that short yardage, so that was good. McInnes converts on a catch for 15 as Work nearly gets like he almost got sacked and he just got the throwaway to get it to McInnes as he stands in the pocket, right? And then Aberhart converts on a left side catch for 12. And then Woodruff is kind of down to injury after that conversion, but he would remain in the game, thankfully. Probably just a stinger. Hatcher catches for 9 to help the short yardage convert with no penalty needed this time. So no, none of that. Butler runs for 4 yards to convert on second down, but then there's back-to-back incompletions for I said likely touchdowns, right, to McInnes and Berryhill. In fact, I think the Berryhill incompletion was in the end zone as well. So just instantly, Sean White comes out to kick the chip shot field goal for a 3-0 lead, and we're going, okay. Opening drive, ended not the way we wanted it to, but it was still a decent one in stat anyways. Little did we know in that first half it would be mostly field goals, but um, Evans gets sacked for a loss of 6 by Tavai on second down to go 2-and-out on Montreal's ensuing drive, and then McGee only runs 3 yards on punt to the 30. Butler runs hard to only surrender 1 yard from being tackled on first down. So yeah, he was kind of back a few yards and he ran back to the line of scrimmage just to only surrender the yard. So that was good for him. Hatcher catches a throw from Work that nearly got picked off and converts for 15 on second down, and then Work, and this was the stupid interception that Work threw, right? Throw the needless interception to Beverett, attempting to pass it to Couture after a holding call was pending. And I was saying, I imagine the offensive coordinator was just screaming in his ear, like, don't throw it, there's probably a holding call, and he just does it anyways. Right? Could have thrown it out of
This,
bounds.
I don't know if I said this earlier in the episode or before we started recording, but I could see from my seat that Beverett was trailing Katoy, and Rourke obviously didn't see that, and that was a very easy interception. And I don't know, that was just a complete brain fart on him. Other than that,
Point,
he was pretty flawless this game.
yeah, like 99.9% flawless, if there was such a term for that. It's like the 9 out of 10 doctors kind of thing, like this one. So yeah, but thankfully Montreal didn't take advantage of that stupid interception because they go 2-and-out again, and Evans throws incomplete and gets sacked again by Tehama on second down for a loss of 4. That's what good teams do. They don't, well, good defenses do. They don't let the interception bother them, right? And then McGee returns to punt to the BC 36, and then Gagne comes down the injury, but I think he also returned to the game. So very minimal injuries for the Lions in this game. I forgot to mention too, so that's also fortunate.
Line was decimated. And we had, yeah, and then they all came back.
Yeah. And then Butler rumbled on the right side for 10 to convert, and then Hatcher converts on a 2nd and 10 catch for 23 yards. And then Katoy catches and then gets thrown forward for extra yards on a conversion pass. But then there was back-to-back incompletions in the red zone for BC again. So, I mean, there was, as much as there was struggles for Montreal in the red zone, we had a little bit of struggles in our red zone too, especially in this first half. So, yeah, back-to-back incompletions to Aberhart and Pickett forces White to kick another easy field goal to extend the lead to 6-0. Ben Evans converts on a throw to Snead for 18 yards and also a roughing the passer penalty makes them go up in a field goal range like instantly. That was the frustrating part of the game. Where it was just like they were struggling, and then all of a sudden they're in field goal range, just like that, right?
The penalties
uh,
this game.
yeah. This was the start of a penalty frustration, and then Evans then converts on a throw to Rambo for 13 yards, and then on the final play of the quarter, he throws to Rambo on first down for 6 yards. And yeah, I was just I was expecting them scoring a touchdown here, but this was a big part of the game because after the second quarter started, Evans gets sacked on second down for a loss of 13, and he gets flushed out of the pocket by Tehama, and he got injured in the process. Like he was lying down for a long time, and I was thinking, oh man, that's a leg injury. That might be a leg or
Uh,
knee injury. It was
didn't
classified as a lower
like
body injury, but yeah, I could tell. Are you going to say something?
coming off the field, he didn't put a lot of weight on his leg, and just we could see how serious it was when he went down. He wasn't moving. So wish him the best. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
I
tough to see. Guy gets his
yeah
opportunity, and then that goes
yeah.
away.
I wish him all the best too. But yeah, and then like I said, that put just puts in the fourth string quarterback, James Morgan, in action, and I put yes, he's a fourth round draft pick from the Jets 5 years ago. So yeah, first. I mean, he was been bouncing around the league for a bit, but yeah, it's like his first taste of game action, right? And I don't think he even expected to have it in this situation, but again, he did pretty okay for the situation he's in because yeah, after that sack, Maltos Diaz did kick the field goal to cut the lead in half, so at 6-3. Then Rourke throws a quick strike to Hatcher on 2nd and 6 to convert for 7. Then Butler converts in a catch for 13 yards to the left side of the field. But then Pickett and Butler only managed 7 yards on I think it was runs to trot out Sean White again to kick the 40. It was a tougher field goal for Sean White, but he made it anyway. That put the I am the danger from Walter White, Jeff for him to kick the 45-yard field goal down the middle to extend the lead to 9-3. So, touch pretty much like a touchdown worth of lead. That's good. This could have been unnecessary roughness on our way, like the first of a few, but there was there was no foul on the play, and Mawson challenged that one. So Morgan throws to DeLeo for not to get 9 yards to out convert on short yardage, and then Tice runs on first down for 11. Morgan flicks the pass to Tice to convert again for 15 yards. So Tice was very heavily used on this drive, but it all ended up being just, Maltos Diaz kicked another chip shot field goal after Morgan overthrows Steen on second down. So Maltos Diaz kicked this field goal to shorten the lead to 9-6. And then there was a picture that was put up on the CFL subreddit I had fun with. There was like 6, 9, and 4:20 left in the second. Right? That's like, yes, John Shorthouse would be proud. um, so yeah, 9-6 lead, not 6-9, but it's funny numbers. McKinnis converts on a catch for 12 yards on BC's ensuing drive, and then Butler runs for 22 yards on first down, and then Rourke escapes the pocket and runs to the left side to convert with 25. And then before the 3-minute warning, Rourke passes to Butler, who gets driven backwards for 2 yards. Then after the 3-minute warning, this was big. This was big time because McKinnis caught a short pass and he waltzed in the end zone like untouched to extend the lead to 16-6, with the extra point being good. It was on a 6-play drive too, so that was like quick strikes and boom, Bob's your uncle. You
As you
up
were
by
talking
10
about.
points, right? everybody's hyped at the stadium. I heard the noise loud and clear from the TV. Um, and then Snead returns the kickoff to the Montreal 39. Rambo converts on a catch of great blocking up front for 13 yards, and then Howland does his only catch in the game for 7 yards on second down. But then Arway is called for roughing the passer to go up 15 yards. That's the first of his many stupid penalties. Um, of his many stupid penalties, of the stupid penalties of the Lions as a whole, right? Tice catches and converts for 15 yards to get into the red zone again, but then Jason Moss calls timeout in second and six. Uh, here's a fun little bit of rhyming I did because on second down, Morgan has his ball batted down by Betts. So Betts bats the ball down. The three Bs to force Maltos Diaz to kick another chip shot field goal to shorten the lead to 16-9. And then on the ensuing drive, well, it was a first down play to McInnes. McInnes played great, but I really wanted him to go down as quick as possible. But unfortunately, he held on to the ball too long, and then he ball got punched out, fumbled it, and was on a converting pass too. So it could have been a first down, but instead it's first down for Montreal after the fumble. I was nervous there, but thankfully Montreal didn't really score anything because there was only like 2 yards on a screen pass on second down for a 2 and out. Like that's two times where there were turnovers, but Montreal didn't do anything with it. Right. So the defense, did pretty good there. McGee only returned the punt to the 15-yard line with a holding penalty tacked on. So that really, that kind of forced Buck Pierce's hand and said, okay, we'll just take our lead into the second half. And I guess I'll let you talk about the second half because
I feel like a lot of things happen in each half, but more of the scoring happened in the third quarter. It started off with Scott returning the kickoff to Montreal 40, and Morgan throwing deep to Snead, falling incomplete. But Moss challenged for DPI and Williams and was successful, 45-yard gain. I wasn't so sure at first, but you thought it was a PI. Um,
yeah. Well,
anyways,
at first I thought it was the PI, but then there was like different replays that showed like, okay, kind of tugged on the arm, and yeah, that's DPI. That was frustrating. I said in the group chat like, oh, F off, right? With that, Williams, really?
I've
uh,
mentioned before that my dad is a Jason Moss hater. Always hates when he immediately throws out the flag for DPI like he did now. So that was coming. Um, but anyways, DC, they were called for offside on Betts as Montreal converted for first down, and Gary Peters nearly picked off Morgan on second and 10, but it fell incomplete to force Maltos Diaz to another red zone field goal to shorten
no,
the lead to
no,
16 to
this was a
12.
miss.
Oh, nope.
No,
Google left post,
I
24
wanted
yard.
I wanted to
Yep.
keep that in because I assumed it was going to be a field goal, but no, he doinked it off the left upright.
That was the good one because that's when we all went home and 3 pizza. I thought that
Mm,
was automatic. I was kind of partially dozing off, and it doinked. He hit that one so hard, went straight down, back onto the field. So that was pretty funny.
that was a shock. That was a bit of a shocker to me too. Like, oh, I thought this was going to be a field goal, and oh, yeah, doink, yeah. Bears fans get PTSD from this. Yeah,
So the
doink.
score stayed 16-9 as
Good.
BC got a procedure call, forcing it back 5 yards and second down to go second and 8. Sean Lemon, former briefly a Lion, tackled Rourke, who only managed 3 yards on a second down run to have a 2 and out. So we punted for the first time in the game. As you said earlier, first
Mm,
punt of the game was in the third quarter.
that's
Then
how
Scott
you're playing
returned.
pretty well, right? All things considered.
Often. Scott then returned the punt to the Montreal 28 with a penalty forcing them back to the 10. He ran twice to convert for 13 yards combined, and poor tackling ended empathetically by Awe as Daliar goes for 9 yards on first down and then gets injured in the process, probably a concussion. This was one of many injuries
Mm,
throughout the game where the players were on their knees hoping for the best. Obviously, we were all hoping for the best. It was a tough watch, and I said, like, I've seen enough of this. Like, the last 3 home games, there's been so many
yeah,
serious injuries. So
And also as good as always has been for us in terms of tackling, like that's going to get him a reputation for that, right? I think he's already kind of getting a little bit of a reputation for being a little, well, a little dirty with his hits, right? But yeah, this one was, yeah, it was eventually. It was also called for spewing as well, so that's pretty much 15 yards up. And
Montreal's two at the time.
yeah, yeah, 9 penalties for BC compared to Montreal's two. I went, what is this?
One game so far. And that would persist. So Scott, he was tackled for a loss by Woods on second down, forcing Montreal to punt. Then McGee returned the punt to the BC 26, called yet again for a holding penalty on their 10 penalty to snap the ball at the BC 10. And then
I
Hatcher
put the. I was gonna
made a
say I put
great
like
catch.
I was gonna put well on a 10 penalty. I put the GIF of everybody holding up the 10 sign. You know, like they do in swimming,
That's why you put up
diving.
that GIF. You
Yeah, and yeah, 10, yes, 10 penalties. I like to count
been taking
in
penalties at
Sesame
that
Street.
point, they'd want to celebrate because felt like they were doing it deliberately. Um,
Uh, anyways, after
Anyways,
those 10 penalties,
continued on. Patry made a great catch on a deep shot by Rourke to get to the 50 on a first down to get over 100 yards on the game. McInnes then converted on a catch for 11 on the right side, and Berryhill converted on a pass for 18 on second down to get into field goal range. Then Rourke threw a strike to Hatcher, who gets
yak yards, which is yards after
on the
catch.
play to convert for 18, and then Rourke rolled out his left following to his receivers to throw the touchdown to Hatcher and extend the lead to 23-9, extra point being good. And then Montreal was called for pyramiding to apply on the kickoff on a 100-yard TD drive. My dad was wondering, because we weren't really paying attention to the screen, what's the sign for pyramiding? You know, if
Yes,
we were like making different signs with triangles. We're like, it's got to
I
be one of
I
these.
I posted an Illuminati GIF in the football chat in Canucks Discord. Right, that was the
That's fitting.
That's my favorite penalty call because like pyramiding. Oh yeah, and there was also a screen cap I took of the OCFL. Um, that as it happened, it said what someone said: spewing, pyramiding. What's next? Degalvanizing, cannonading, anti-disestablishmentarianism.
But I hear in
I,
hockey. I just love these penalties because I mean, whatever it happens against us or to us, but you
yeah,
don't hear these very often.
yeah,
So it's often just funny when it
and
happens.
of course to explain pyramiding a little bit, it's just like you can't jump over your own blockers to block a punt, right? And that someone tried that, and that's pyramiding.
It sounds like the name when you really think of it.
Yeah, you can't
But yeah,
stack players like Jenga blocks, right? Yeah, so after that touchdown, so yeah, 23-9, and yeah, we're feeling good about it. I mean, I was still a little nervous because again, I'm still fresh. We're still fresh from that collapse against Hamilton, right? So we're not like out of the woods yet, but I'm feeling I can calm down a little bit here, but yeah.
being
Um,
sad about this, but we were called for an illegal kickoff out of bounds to negate the pyramiding call and start at the Montreal
huh,
40.
lovely. Right.
So
Even good things happening to us immediately followed up with a bad thing in this. uh
Sneed ran to the BC 29, but then Montreal was called for a face mask as Sneed straight arm to field the ball 44. That was the moment where I'm like, I saw the flag going up. I'm like, God, it's going to be on us. And then we looked at the board. I'm like, no, that's a face mask on them. But that was just
Good.
me being paranoid because of what's happening throughout the game.
Yeah, just the amount of flags against us were just like assuming every penalty was going against us, and in that last Hamilton game, every penalty went against us, right? So literally, so uh man,
Rambo
never
caught
ending.
converted right at the sticks for 7, and then on the final play of the quarter, Morgan threw to the ground incomplete, finding no one open to go for 7, to go for second down. I was like, "What's he doing?" Threw it right at the ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't intentional grounding because he had a receiver nearby, but it could have been, right? I mean, if he had stepped back a little more and maybe, threw it behind the line of scrimmage. It could have been, but yeah, that was just couldn't find anyone open. Secondary did their job though. Uh,
To do it or me.
yeah, fourth quarter have been pretty short paragraph, right? So that's good. It's really like Maltos Diaz kicked a 41-yarder because this was after Sabasu did only gain 2 yards, right? So Maltos Diaz kicked a 41-yarder to shorten the lead to 23-12. That was like probably again a little more tension in this one, and this drive was important, right? This was like the sealer as far as we were concerned, right? Because it started out with Aberhart catching a deep shot from Work on first down for 50 yards to give Work a sixth 300-plus-yard game in the season. And then Work throws to a wide open Hatcher for 26 yards and a touchdown to extend the lead to 30-12. And that was it. That was game over, right? uh, yeah, and then Tice ran the kickoff out of bounds at the Montreal 37. Really, another two and out for Montreal. There was incompletions, and then McGee returned the punt to the BC 34. Work gets tripped and sacked on second down by Beverett for a loss of two to go for their two and out, but that was like the only, I think it was the only two and out for BC at that point. I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. And I guess like one last thing I want to mention before like the next touchdown drive with yes, the quadruple coverage that I put in all caps. Incomplete. I was surprised, right? We were surprised. That was supposed to be an interception, right? Uh, man.
Three of those guys on that quadruple coverage went up to catch the ball, and then
And
they
they
all missed
collided
it.
into each other, right? And it was like Looney Tunes out here, right? It was
One of them was on the
comical.
ground. We're like, God, not another injury, man. This game's dragging on. Um, yeah, what a show it
Yeah.
has been.
And then yeah, after that incompletion of quadruple coverage, it was like Speaker was thrown incomplete again on second down for their two and out, and then McGee returned the bouncing ball to the 42. Work throws incomplete to Hatcher, but Montreal's burned his call for DPI. Like good, that's like karma for their DPI challenge. That was successful. So yeah, we went to the Montreal 21, and then Barry Hill pretty much like it was sealed pretty much with the 30-12, but like extra stake in the Vampires after Barry Hill caught the 36-yard touchdown to extend the lead to 36-12, and that was when the extra point was blocked. But we were like, it's okay. Don't have like sweet scores anyways, pretty much. So it's like, um, so I stopped taking detailed notes here. So in garbage time, Morgan did throw his first career touchdown pass, Snead for 42 yards. And the 2-point convert was intercepted by Alway. So, like, a little good thing for Alway to happen in spite of the bad, the unnecessary roughness hits. Uh, you know, that's good. That did keep it a 3-possession game. I was worried that if they had gotten the 2-point convert, it would have been like a 2-possession game. Right. So that pretty much sealed it though, too. So and then yeah, basically BC ran the clock out after a turnover on down. The BC Lions dominate the Alouettes again, despite a shaky first half, to keep their dominance in Montreal and BC place intact as they win 36-18 to get back to 500 on a season to keep pace with the rest of the West because all of them won this week. So yeah, that was very, very much needed win to keep pace with everybody.
And you what good keeping the momentum going. They're playing the worst team in the league next week, and we want to keep it
Yeah,
going. So
I mean, had Toronto beaten Ottawa, it would have continued the progression of, progressively worst East teams. But instead, we're just getting the worst East team and then a slightly better Ottawa team. Right?
we scored 36 this week,
41.
41 last week, and then the game before 33. We've been scoring a lot, and it really comes down to the defense at this point. The defense played better this game. Not going to say they played that. No, they played good actually. They improved throughout the game. So I think we're on the right track here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was worried that they were going to lose to a fourth string quarterback. That would have been like an ultimate David Ayers Leafs moment, right? Where it's,
On the
uh,
right track for next week.
yeah, yeah. So it's not a get right game, but it's more like just one of those games where it was an interesting game from start to finish, right? In terms of what happened, but thankfully it all ended in another Lions win, and it's making our playoff chances just a little bit better, right? Which is what we want. I do not want to come. I do not want this podcast to end in October, right? uh, uh,
Continuously losing, I think it does increase our chances. Obviously, we want a West spot in the playoffs. Maybe even still gun for a home playoff game. That's a bit of a long shot, but it's possible.
Possible, yeah. As long as everybody starts losing, right? But no, nobody wants to lose in the West, right? It just even Edmonton. And
2 in a row.
yeah, I just want to get to those games real quick because I just want to recap. I forgot to recap the Week 10 games with JS the other day, so I'm gonna do it here. So yeah, Edmonton beat Montreal 23-20. That was on the last second score for them, and actually, oh no, it was with 18 seconds left, and then yeah, Montreal didn't score to tie it. So yeah, that was the first Edmonton win, and then the second Edmonton win was this week because they beat Toronto 28-20. That was also similarly, late game heroics from Fajardo. So Fajardo is clearly the
Yeah,
guy.
he's balling out. As I said in that previous episode, they should start him. And doing that, they've had some success so far. So good for him.
Yeah, now I'm going to talk about Ottawa here because well, Ottawa last week they beat Toronto in an absolute thriller back and forth. They topped our game. That was already back and forth. Like this one was ultimately Toronto had like a 22-1 lead at one point, and then they blew it, just like the Leafs tend to blow leads against the Sens, right? So that was a feel good
22.
win for Ottawa. They were like, oh yeah, I'm used to that because yeah. So Ottawa basically, they keep third place in the East with that win over Toronto. And then Calgary, they beat Winnipeg last week, 28-27 on a last second field goal. So that was super satisfying and I enjoyed that. And that enjoyment was very short because Winnipeg ended up recouping themselves. And again, they beat Ottawa on the last second field goal themselves, 30-27. They Chiefsed it, right? Like Pimpleton had that game time touchdown on a missed field goal, right? And I wanted to call you like so desperately in that game, like, oh my God, we're gonna witness a choke and more Winnipeg, right? And then they didn't. It was
But man, I was so locked into watching that game. And then, man, at 47 seconds, you can do so much, but so little if you're Ottawa wasting that possession that they had. So that was real unfortunate. You know,
yeah,
I was as happy as I was when Winnipeg lost the week before. So I thought, they had a taste of their own medicine and the week
yeah.
after.
So yeah, they by virtue of them winning, and yeah, they still stay above us for third place, right? But it's like, oh man, we're so close to third place. We can taste it, right?
Taste, man. One day they'll suck.
One day they'll lose and we'll continue to win, and we gotta keep them down now in the cellar, right? uh, but yeah, and then yeah, Saskatchewan, they had that bye week last week, and then they end up winning versus Hamilton 29-9. Like they are scary as hell, man. Like I am continuing to be amazed by just how much they're winning, right? Just in different ways, right?
Is probably the MOP favorite at this point.
Trevor Harris definitely is. It was even mentioned on the TSN too. Like they were debating, like, okay, if work the MOP or Harris, I'm going, okay, come on, there's no. I mean, work has the yardage, right? But Harris has the wins, right? He doesn't need to be that flashy to win games, and he's doing it
How he's winning it.
constantly. I'm scared of him, like I was scared of him last year, right?
Scared of his
uh,
spirits, but that did turn into reality.
the spirit is gonna kill me again. Just uh yeah, like they dismantled Hamilton's offense that just scored 38 points on us the week before. Right, they did not allow a single. I believe I Montreal looked like his age in this one, right? Like, uh, so yeah, that's gonna be it for the recap and I guess the previews. We'll talk about it briefly. So next week's games. Because our game was again the last. Well, it was the last game of the week, so we can talk about these next four games. So Winnipeg and Montreal is the first one on Thursday, August 21st. Uh,
Oh,
I
so
guess in terms of crossover, no, I want Montreal to win this one, but I mean the way they're kind of banged up a lot, I don't have much faith in them winning this one. I do think Winnipeg will be able to win this one too. Uh, Sadly.
Oregon ball for Montreal probably because I don't see Caleb Evans coming back, and I'm three straight losses for them. Nothing's going the right way, so I can see pretty clear Winnipeg win.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they need Alexander back pretty badly, or even
He
Cloud
did
Bethel
sometime.
Thompson.
He was on the sixth game.
Yeah, it's under 6 games, so I mean, it should be back in a bit. But yeah, again, I think this is an automatic L for Montreal here too. Uh, and then yeah, Edmonton and Ottawa, those are the battle of win teams. That's kind of a win-win game for us too, because if Ottawa beats Edmonton, that'll keep Edmonton at bay, right? Or stop their winning streak at 2. But if Edmonton beats Ottawa, then it'll keep Ottawa off in terms of crossover for us, right? But I do want
Very
Ottawa to
hot,
win.
hot
Yeah,
offenses. Two straight wins from Edmonton. Also, Red Blacks just scoring an insane amount of points in the last 2 weeks. So I think that should be fun.
yeah, it should be a fun one too. I'm hoping Ottawa wins that game too. Uh, and yeah, and then that's the Friday night game, and then Saturday. Well, we'll get to our game in a bit, but the last game of the week is Saskatchewan and Calgary. That's a big one, right? That's um Vernon Adams was Trevor Harris. That's like as it should have been last year. Well, really from the well, for some Lions fan, that should have been Vernon Adams versus Trevor Harris from the get go in that playoff game, right? But yeah, it was just it wasn't meant to be. But yeah, but this should be a good one. I do. Again, at this point, I think Saskatchewan beating Calgary would probably be best for us in order to, save the home field advantage for us, right?
Happen. There's no doubting them at this point.
No, yeah, I guess we're hoping for a Saskatchewan window too. I mean, a pretty good chance they'll do that, but we'll see. It's a road game. Road games are tough for them. And then yeah, our game is against Toronto. That's going to be at noon, our time and 3 p.m. Eastern. So, the situation for that game is that yes, we're basically going to be playing the worst team in the league now, just the worst team in the league. So, uh, I do expect them to beat them, but I'm not. But we're going to be saving the recording for the day after the game because I will be at SFU for for that whole game, right? So I'll be going to an anime convention. So I'm going. So I mean, technically, I might be like breaking my Iron Man streak, but I think as long as I watch the game within the day as I'm taking notes, I think it'll still count. Like I'm just not going to be watching the live game, right?
Because you haven't missed a game recap this year or last year. I'm also going to say that works out perfectly for me too, because as it turns out, I'm going to the Whitecaps game that night. So I wouldn't have been able to record that Saturday night. So Sunday night, hopefully we'll have all three of us together. I'm sure we will because Jacob wants to be back on the show. It's just been unfortunate not all three of us being available at the same time these last couple of weeks, but I'd be more than excited. I think it's going to be a big win for the Lions. I'd
Yeah,
expect nothing less than that.
yeah. I mean, it's been a while since we've had a blowout win since the Edmonton one, right? So this could be a potential one, right? So Yeah. I'm gonna try not to like spoil myself. I'm gonna like, even I'm even afraid like if I look on my phone, like it'll show me sports scores on my phone, right? I don't want to scroll down too much to see like the Toronto score, right? So I'm like,
For the
okay,
first time
I
ever.
yeah, I want to be like, as sure as possible to watch the game on my PVR as I get home from the anime convention. So yeah, hopefully that's another win for us, and we'll actually get over 500 for the first time since like, oh God, week one. uh, yeah, so we got like 4 minutes left here. So I guess is there anything else you want to add, or do you just want to go to conclusion?
Other than that, I mean, I mentioned the Whitecaps one time. Thomas Muller is a Vancouver Whitecap, so exciting time to be a sports fan in the city. So just maybe see me tomorrow at the Whitecaps game, see all of Vancouver there. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, yeah, it should be a fun one. Well, I'll try and catch that game myself too in terms of interest. I mean, like I'm like soccer is like my fifth favorite sport. Like like low, but I'll watch this one just keep the interest
Game.
up for them.
I hope
Yeah,
you can catch some of the excitement because downtown and the airport was going crazy when he signed. So
I saw a news story on that too. Like they were putting out all the stops to welcome him, including indigenous people and everything. That was
amazing.
interesting. That was intriguing. So yeah, so I'll just yeah. So our situation will be yeah. Well, our recording will be on Sunday. It won't be like immediately after the game on Saturday. It'll be save it to Sunday night. So be a little bit later, but yeah, it is what it is, and yeah, hopefully it's a win. So yeah, so you can reach us on our socials. So we got like our Twitter, our Blue Sky, our Instagram account in the description, and you can like and subscribe to help us out with the algorithm. I mean, we getting like decent viewing numbers, right? So that's fun to see. So yeah, do that. Help us out here, and also if you want to send us like long form messages to let us know how we're doing, you can also email us on our Gmail account. That's section214 at gmail.com. That's SECTION TWOFOURTEN at gmail.com. So yeah, that's gonna be it for us today. So hopefully we'll see you Saturday. Bye.